Have you ever seen a total customization of a $30 Casio? I bet not like this. I received 2 conversion kits from SKX Mod for the AE 1200 with the mission to elevate the AE series and take them to another level. But we will go the extra mile and make a bit of artwork on the dials, so that should be exciting. To introduce the platform, the AE 1200 series is an extraordinary wall timer in my view, a watch with a cool design which is a mixture between the early 70s and 80s digital watches combined with the actual trends, reminding me of the Santos de Cartier. Lol. This watch is also known as the Casino Royale Casio, but I have no idea why, because Bond weren't surely 2 Omegas in that specific movie. However, this model indeed looks familiar with the digital Seiko worn by Roger Moore in Octopussy, but for real. Anyway, the AE 1200 model is in my opinion an excellent watch. It's super practical, especially for traveling, without the worry to be targeted. And I love it because it's super affordable, it's durable, comfortable, small sized and squared. And yes, personally I'm in a process where I'm trying to adopt more square designs in my collection. This magic wall timer offers 5 alarms, a backlight, can record up to 5 different cities, has a world timer feature being able to track 31 time zones, has a calendar, has a countdown and a stopwatch, has 100 meters wall resistance and weighs only 39 grams. And everything that I've summed up here costs between $25 and $40. I don't know about you, but the features received against the price are simply overwhelming. And it seems you receive a ton of value for a watch that costs, well, less than a NATO strap. And as features, I think we all agree it's super powerful. However, the way the weight is distributed can be improved and the case finishing can be better made. Currently this model is offered on a plastic case with a metallic bracelet, which obviously can be improved. And this is what basically SKX Mod did. They redesigned completely the AE 1200 case, offering a metallic case instead of the plastic one, with better finishes and improved durability, keeping also the engravings and the faux screws on the top and on the bottom. They also recreated the bracelet. They kept exactly the design of the Casio AE series, but instead of the folded pins features, they made a solid stainless steel bracelet with screws, which is kind of a standard nowadays. So for an extra $120 you can transform this budget but capable AE 1200 series into a solid, good looking and premium Casio world timer. And I will leave the link of the conversion kit in the description. So is that it? Nope, we're going to push the designs of the AE 1200 series and we will create a bit of artwork on the dial, as I promised. And as a theme, since I'm a Tolkien fan and pretty nostalgic because the Rings of Power Season 1 is over, I was thinking to create 2 themed Casios, one dark and one white. One being represented by the elf side, the good side, and the dark side, which will be represented by our friend Sauron. The best part of customizing the AE 1200 is the fact that you can remove the window dial and play around with it. However, it is extremely tough to create artwork on it because the window edges are super thin. They also have embossed areas, so it makes it even more difficult to draw a straight line on it. I did spotted some areas, but also to use the atypical shape of the rounded window to start from there and to create something cool. For this I obviously had to buy acrylic paint and a super thin brush, which turned out to be unreliable, but changing this combo in the end with the acrylic markers, which was a better decision. The dark theme will contain details from Sauron's helm with those specific reflective beveled edges. And because the areas of the dial are thin, I will work a la prima, straight on the dial without any initial guiding marks. And as a mission, we will put more accent on the rounded window because it's atypical, as I said, so I see room for a logo or an icon there. And I will most likely paint the Sauron sign directly on the digital dial. And this mysterious sign is often represented in the Ring of Power series, which highlights the location of Mordor. And indeed, if we match the icon with the shape of the map layout, it kind of matches. So this one needs to be highlighted in red, representing fire. And then for the rest of the layout, I will use a tan marker to color the dial, aiming to add patina and to create that Tolkien map atmosphere. And then I have to even the excess of the paint, where I can use some cotton buds to unify the surface until it dries. and after a few adjustments I'm super pleased with the result. The dial and the digital display may seem to blend very well with the matte appearance of the SKX mod case. And also the surface that I painted looks pretty realistic, managing to highlight very well the metal material. And it's even better if I wanted to add some elvish text here and there. However, due to the materials used and the lack of experience in micro painting, I preferred to stick to simple patterns and techniques, but overall I'm super satisfied with the quality of it. That's definitely a keeper. Now, moving to the second model, the bright one, I was thinking to create some representative patterns of the elvish kind, as well inspired by Tolkien's books and movies. So I chose to focus on the elvish tree, which is a symbol for life and longevity, focusing to create here an illustration, then a realistic detail of an armor as initially planned. And the theme is to create some branches of a tree which interfere with the rounded window and surrounds the rest of the dial. And inside of the rounded dial, initially I chose an elvish helm, but then I decided to paint a tree with 7 stars directly on the dial. And then use the same technique with the marker for the rest of the surface, unifying the blue tone until it looks good. And the second dial looks good as well, but let's see how they look in the combination with the SKX mod cases. And then the assembly is super simple. Firstly, make sure that the inner window is clean, and then add the dial and press the corners to get it on the right spot, close to the window. And then gently add the digital core, where you have to consider the metallic inner pushers. You have to compress them so the outer case pushers can press on them. Otherwise the digital core will not enter properly on the case. And then add the gasket provided by SKX mod. By the way, they basically provide every accessory or tool needed for this customization. And then make sure that the gasket sits in the designated place before closing the case. And then add the bracelet, and voila! The Rings of Power Casios made with SKX mod kits, customized by Brave Beaters. And looking at them, I do love the matte appearance of both cases and the fact that the balance is restored on these watches, referring to the distribution of the weight. As I mentioned, the AE 1200 series have the outer case made from plastic and the bracelets in metal, and now they are more weighty, but they sit very good on the wrist and they look amazing thanks to the customized dials. Yup, the effort was huge but fun in the same time, although I've never seen someone customizing or painting on a dial of the AE 1200 series. I don't know, probably because of the unfriendly surface or maybe because of the thin edges of the dial. Who knows? I tried multiple techniques to cover with accuracy the dial surface, and luckily I found this compromise with the acrylic markers. But for the future I have to discover more sophisticated techniques to draw and to create thinner lines, which will allow me to add more details and play around more. And yes, hope you guys enjoy this $120 transformation of the Casio AE 1200 series. Many more will come, that's for sure, and in the near future I'll probably focus on the GAGN series once I get used to that micro painting process. Thanks for watching guys, and until next time, be brave but stay creative.